Deputy Senate President, Your Excellency, the Governor of the Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, our host governor, executive governors from across the length and breadth of this great nation, members of the National Assembly present here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I rise to speak on behalf of my boss, of my leader. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "What you are speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you are saying." Your Excellencies, the road that led us to President Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not happen by chance. We were moved by a forest of ideas. And what we were clamoring for, what we were looking for, what we were shopping for is a unifying leader who panders to neither ethnic nor religious sentiment, who is not bound by any toxic regional solidarity, and yet known for outstanding leadership qualities.
Let me categorically tell you that it stands. Shettima is gone. That is the truth. And the reason is not far-fetched. You can see it on your screen as I speak. That Shettima is no more going to contest on the same ballot, or rather on the same ticket with the man, Tinubu. And the way I see it as a person, the Fulanis are the one who have actually pushed him out of the scheme of things. The reason I'm saying this, the Fulanis, is because it is reported, as you can see on the screen, that some Americans are already pushing Trump to pressure the man Tinubu to ensure that there's a religious balancing in Nigerian seat of power ahead of 2027, just as you can see on your screen. But the question here is, if in the event that a Shettima did not make it with Tinubu on a joint ticket, it means the Fulanis are the one that causing that issue. Because we understand how America came into Nigeria, talking about intervention to fight insurgency, to fight terrorism, and this is as a result of the terrorism occasioned by Fulani militias.
Mr. Masu, are you telling me that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not have any hand in skimming out of Shettima out of his own government?
There are so many angles to it. I just brought in the American angle. Secondly, do not forget that this is not the first time we have seen Shettima conspicuously missing in area where he's supposed to be there. Don't forget that sometime last year, in Gombe to be precise, while they had APC strategic meeting, Shettima was not recognized and was not mentioned. A situation that saw his supporters in the northeast to start protesting. Let me tell you that this is what happened recently. It happened even in Meduguri, his home state, a state where he was governed as a governor for 8 years. The banner that displayed the man Tinubu, the 5 governors from the region, and even the legal advisor of the party did not have Shettima in their midst. This even pushed the Speaker of Borno State House of Assembly to even start protesting and start asking questions that what is happening. But that question that he could not answer, we have seen the answer. The answer is simple, that the way it's going, that the Shettima is not going to be on a joint ticket with Tinubu for 2027. Looking at the dynamics of Nigerian politics, I want to tell you that the problem Tinubu faced even after the election is part of the reason we may be seeing what we are seeing. Because Christians for the North were not comfortable with the situation. Nigeria is a secular state. So that if you are having a Muslim presidential candidate, you have a Christian vice presidential candidate, and it's vice versa. We understand that even in the build-up to the 2023 presidential election, the reason picking Shettima as a vice presidential candidate is part of the reason Tinubu lost people like Babachi Lawa, who, of course, was a former secretary to federal government under Muhammadu Buhari. And the part of the reason the government is unpopular in the north is as a result of that joint ticket with a Muslim ticket. But let me tell you one thing. You see the way it is. Even if Tinubu won the election of 2023, going by the result of NEC, Tinubu is parading a minority vote. Because put together, result Obi garnered in that vote, and the man Atiku garnered. We are talking about 6.70 million votes and the 7.7 million vote put together, I'm talking about close to 30 million vote as against the 8.7 million vote garnered by the man, Tinubu. So he's parading a minority mandate, though the constitution of the country gave him the mandate, having secured the more lawful votes declared during the election. But I think that Tinubu, who is a political master strategist, is looking beyond what has happened, and he wants to have a good show in the north, coupled with the dynamics of global politics that have entered into Nigeria. Because before now, Donald Trump was not talking about America, he was talking about Nigerian politics. Before now, even Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, was not talking about Nigerian politics. Record that even recently, Benjamin Netanyahu was quoted and is on camera that they are interested in securing the lives of Christians in Nigeria. Is even, are we not seeing even how the government have even spent about $9 million to pay lobbyists in America? So it is not a huru for government. It is not just all right for the government. The government that is spending this much to look at ways to address the challenges that come with election. And this is another opportunity to determine who govern the country. I want to believe that as a Tinubu, as a master strategist, as a saint, we not want to make the same mistake of 2023. Because to have it, he's already the president. So it's a different ballgame from when he was contesting as just a leader of the party from the southwestern part of the country, or even seen as a national leader of APC. So the way it is, I'm going to tell you categorically that the man Shettima, he will need very serious prayer warriors to have him run on the joint ticket with Tinubu. He's as good as gone.
Mr. Matthew, I do you suggest President Bola Ahmed Tinubu body language like you're going to let Shettima to go on there, maybe pick one of the popular Christian candidates from the north. But if people are speculating, maybe it could be Christopher Musa or the former speaker Dugara. Will you advise President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to pick either Musa or Dugara?
To be quite honest with you, those names have been bandaged around, talking about Dugara, talking about Reverend Kuka, talking about, of course, Christopher Musa, who is currently serving as the Minister of Defense. But for me, as a Christian, to be quite honest with you, I would prefer the Tinubu to go with a Christian vice presidential candidate. This is not far-fetched, because anything you do in life is interest-oriented. And I want my brothers as Christians, my fellow brethren in the north who are Christians, to have a sense of belonging in the government. So for me, I would prefer, though I cannot go for Reverend Kuka, because for me, Reverend Kuka have not been there for Christians recently. Before now, Reverend Kuka is someone I cherish, someone I look up to, but quite unfortunately that in the recent time, Reverend Kuka have not been bold enough to speak truth to power. Talking about the recent issue of alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, they have not been able to even tell the government that there is indeed Christian genocide in Nigeria. At some point, we saw a Reverend Kuka who was even trying to redefine the meaning of genocide. So for me, if they are zeroing in on, of course, Dugara, I'm not against it.
But Pastor, if you said Dugara or Musa, do they have that capacity to gather vote like the Shettima be able to gather vote from his own side that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? One of the reasons President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not let down when people were saying that you should not go with Muslim ticket, but you now consider the benefit that you're going to benefit at the end of the day because of the popularity of person Shettima. Do you see that Dugara and Musa, they have that kind of popularity in case you want to pick either of them?
From what we are looking at, it's not even about the individual. It's about a religion. Because what we are looking at is not about the personality involved. Come to think of it, Christians in the north have been lamenting over the years since the inception of this administration. So if you are bringing a Christian candidate, vice presidential candidate, it's not about the popularity of that individual, it's about the popularity of Christianity in the north.
But Mr. Matthew, popularity also counts. As I said before, one of the reasons President Bola Ahmed Tinubu chose Shettima then in 2023 was because of popularity of Shettima and the amount of votes Shettima was able to gather for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu then.
I'm a statistician by training. that believe in empirical findings. I want to tell you that it is not unlikely that if Tinubu had chosen a vice presidential candidate who is a Christian in the North, it's not unlikely that he could have won the election. For me, he chose Shettima based on some dynamics. I will not say that it is which is right. But like I told you earlier on, whatever I do in life, it is interest oriented by nature. Because Shettima did not go there on the basis of competence. After all, he's not the most competent person in the North. I'm not saying he's not competent in any way. Don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is, if the president, Senator Bola Tinubu, should go for a vice presidential candidate from the North who is a Christian, as far as I'm a Christian, I think it sits well with me. Because to a large extent, that will give confidence to those of our brothers in the North who are Christians. It will engender their confidence in them about the government. So for me, like I said earlier on, the man, Christopher Musa, the only reason I may not say the government should go for him, or rather Tinubu should go for him, is because Christopher Musa have not been able to demystify who gave the order that saw the withdrawal of those military personnel who were guarding the KB school before the attack and adoption. So for me, he still have a question mark. But for Dogara, I must say I don't have issue with that. But until Christopher Musa is able to tell Nigerians and the world who gave the order that saw the withdrawal of those military personnel who were guarding KB school before the attack and adoption, just as he promised Nigerians in the course of his screening at the Senate, I think he have a question mark. But holistically speaking, I'm not saying a particular individual. A Christian for the North, for me, is better than Muslim because Nigeria is a secular state.
So are you saying that President Bola Tinubu is trying to succumb to President Donald Trump pressure by because they say one of the conditions that was on the table for it to go Muslim and Christian ticket come 2027 if President Bola Tinubu indeed want to win the election come 2027 because of Christian genocide. That Nigeria is not a Muslim country. It's a secular state that a Muslim cannot work, Christian cannot work. Should either be Christian from the south and Muslim from the north, or a Christian from the north and a Muslim from the south. Now, my question is President Trump really doing good for Nigeria? Or because if you said President Bola Tinubu should drop Shettima, at the end of the day, he lost the election, won't he shift the blame to President Trump?
Let me tell you one thing. Whether we like it or not, in international relations, strength is might. Maybe somebody should go and ask Maduro what is passing through now. If Trump have interest in Nigeria and lobbying, just as we see Nigerian government lobbying, so far they have spent about $9 million US. If that lobbying cannot even solve the problem and Trump have a position that is prevailing on Tinubu to do, I want to tell you that for Tinubu to continue excelling at the international level and even his government to have a peace, at some point you have to compromise. And if you refuse to do that, that's why I say maybe you go and ask Maduro what is passing through. Because if you
so that cannot happen in Nigeria. No Trump. 10 of Trump cannot come and pick any president.
I'm not saying he's coming. No,
Trump cannot come and pick President Bola Tinubu in Nigeria.
No, don't get it twisted.
The largest black people on the planet Earth. It can't happen.
I'm not saying he will decide. If he decides, I'm not saying anybody can stop him. But what I'm trying to say in essence is,
we can stop him.
Okay, maybe you should bring your profile for the world to know who you are. But the question here is, the way it is, in international relations, strength is right. Might is right. And as we have it, there are so many areas where America have interest in Nigeria. And I don't think even Nigerian government would dare to tamper with any of their interests. For instance, Chevron is an American company. I'm not saying Nigerian government is tampering with their interests anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is, at every point in time, any government step the toe of any foreign nation, any foreign company that has a might, of course, it causes diplomatic row. Okay, are you not aware that even as we speak, the current interim leader of Venezuela have even given about 30 million barrels of crude to the United States of America? I'm not saying it's on free of charge basis, but it's part of what Trump agitated for that Maduro refused to adhere to. So even look at what is happening in Greenland. Trump making it categorically clear that he doesn't want to have, of course, China and Russia as neighbors. And Greenland is already interested in entering into agreement and discussion with Washington. So what I'm saying in essence is, it is not out of place when it has to do with international relations, diplomacy. If you have somebody who is bigger than you and you shift ground a little bit to ensure that you don't have problem at the international level.
All right, Mr. Matthew, let's go back again to the FPC. FPC, they are in the market now to sign a defender because it's likely they're going to let their present defender go. Talking about Shettima. You know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the striker in FPC, while Shettima is the best defender in FPC. But now it's likely that because of Trump, they're going to lose their defender to which other party, nobody knows. But will you advise them that they should go into the North Central or they should go into the Northwest to sign another another defender?
As a political pundit and as a Christian, it is irrespective of where they are getting the person. As long as the person is a Christian, I'm not biased about whether from any state.
So if the person is a Christian, I do not have the capacities to win vote because
no, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the president should go for somebody who have no political clout to win votes. That's why I say I'm not zeroing in on any individual. But the bottom line is, as a person who is a Christian, who have interest of protecting the interests of my fellow brethren in the North, I'm saying go for a Christian in the North. Not necessarily saying go for Mr. A or go for Mr. B. But I have an issue with Reverend Kuka. Because for me, Reverend Kuka have not been able to protect the interests of Christians of late. And I have an issue with Christopher Musa until he's able to tell the world the outcome of his investigation regarding who gave order for the withdrawal of military personnel that were guarding KB school before the attack and adoption. I told you that I don't have issue with Dogara. But if an issue arose tomorrow against Dogara and I consider it weighty, I will say it. But for now, I don't have any issue.
Christopher Musa was not there when the order was even ordered. So he has no right. He has no right to question him to start the investigation. Investigation can last for years, for months or for years. So Christopher Musa is clean in that aspect because he was not on seat when that incident happened.
I don't know when he decided to become his spokesman, but Christopher Musa was very clear. He told the world, he told Nigerians that he's going to probe into who gave the order. And of course,
the investigation is still ongoing.
That is why I'm saying that if an old man goes to the toilet and stays too long, people will start asking questions. But they will send delegates to check what is happening. So there's an extent to wait for the investigation. People will start asking questions. So for me, the way it stands, the world, Nigerians are waiting to hear from Christopher Musa regarding who gave that order.
All right, Mr. Matthew, I think it's a very wonderful place to live in. So thank you for speaking with us.
We are talking about asking Christopher Musa to tell us the name and person that gave order for the withdrawal of military that were guiding the cabin school before the adoption we saw the other time. Because these are part of things we need to do to address this insecurity. Until we start getting answers to most of these unanswered questions, we cannot solve this problem. We are yet seeing another one that has to do with discovering arms. This number of weapons in an individual's house. I can never excuse him for this. He must come out and answer questions as to what and how he got this arm in his house. Except otherwise, like I said, he's claiming that someone planted in his house to implicate him. But if you are shouting witch hunt at this level, I don't want to take that as an excuse. I believe he was being witch hunt because almost all Nigerian politicians is corrupt, choosing to go after him because he identified with ADC. I saw it as a witch hunt. But now that they are discovering arms in his possession, in his house, I cannot accept witch hunt on this. Except if you come and explain to Nigerians and the world the circumstances surrounding the weapon in his compound.
All right, Pastor Matthew, I think it's a wonderful place to leave it. So thank you for speaking with us.